Talk to me. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to tell them now. We're gonna tell Sony that we're about to step up our game. This is the Panasonic game, and that's what we're going to do. Hold on, I got people that are walking in. Hold on. What's good, scientists? You got something new for me today? Yeah, we got a few new things, actually. Okay, that sounds very promising. I definitely would like to hear what you got to say. Well, sir, we really went the new route, and we think it's cool. Now, before you start going through things, you do understand that I'm your boss for Panasonic. As you can tell with how nice I'm looking, I'm really meaning big, serious talk, so don't waste my time. Okay, we won't waste your time, so we think it's gonna be very useful for you guys, and you'll like it. Great, I'm glad you understand. So, we thinking about a new set of cameras. Okay. And this is how it's gonna go, and it's gonna look great, just like the GH5. All right, I'm liking the sound of this. Now, we think it's gonna be great, and we call it the GH5, ready? The GH5 Mark II. The GH5 Mark II, what are you guys doing? What am I even paying you guys? We are trying to focus on the GH6, not the Mark II of the GH5. Why do people want the GH5 Mark II? Well, technically speaking, we are making the GH6 just like you ordered. Okay. I just felt as if it'd be like magnificent if we What am I paying you guys? Seriously, look. How much did you guys make so far? Well, we made a total about 1,300 Mark 1,300? I put money into 1,300 different... Well, we're really hoping that it really sells out well. We can sell it for $300 more than the GH5 since that was about 1,300. We can sell this one for 1,600. You already made so much without my consent. I did say I wanted the GH6, but since you made a Mark II and you think this is gonna do well, we can just make it so that you can shoot at 4K 60 frames per second in 10-bit rather than 8-bit. We need to do what we can so that way our brand, Panasonic, can actually step up the game. But since you guys went ahead and went to do a Mark II, and we already made about 1,300 of those, I guess we gotta make the Mark II. Yeah, that's perfect. And I promise you, sir, this will go very well. It's just gonna be a real quick thing, and I know for a fact it'll do good. All right, then, carry on, sell it to the market, and I'll do the rest. Thank you, guys. All right, sir, sorry to bother you and sorry to anger you. Much appreciated. No, I really do appreciate it. I might be a little hard on y'all, but I do appreciate y'all. Thank you. Of course, sir. Of course. Well, we'll let you get back. We're gonna get back to work. We're gonna make the Mark II. We're gonna make it really good. Thank you, sir. Enjoy the rest of your time. Hello? Can you hear me? Am I? Yeah. Yeah. Looks like we're gonna be selling the GH5 Mark II, and we're gonna hold off on the GH6, even though we're gonna have that in back ready. I'm looking at all this Sony stuff right now, and I gotta say, looking pretty damn scary. Wagwan, that's skit. Wagwan, everybody. My name is Tyski, and if you're new to my channel, I'm a content creator, filmmaker, all that stuff, and a YouTuber. And if you're about that, feel free to scroll through my channel to see if there's anything that benefits you. But otherwise than that, let's really talk about this GH5 Mark II. So here we got the GH5 and we have the GH5 Mark II. I'm gonna list everything on the sides of me. So let's talk about the features of what they both have before we get into the differences. Starting off, we have the sealed body with dust and rain conditions, dual SD support, 3.5mm port for the mic input. They both shoot at 20.3 megapixels for the micro four thirds. As for the GH5 Mark II, adds an anti-reflective coating. They both have 5-axis stabilization, in-body and lens dual system, and they both shoot at 100 ISO at 25,600 ISO. So now let's just talk about the differences. GH5 1345, Mark II 1698. The details for the body specs. GH5 hits 3.2 inches with 1.6 million dots in the LCD. Mark II hits at 3 inches at 1.8 million dots in the LCD. When it comes to the card slots, the GH5 is usually best with a V60, but the Mark II is best with a V90 for the speeds. As for the battery life of the DMWs, you have 1860 milliamps and 2200 milliamps. For live streaming, this is wired, this is wireless. As for shooting form, they both shoot at 4K 10-bit 24 frames per second. The GH5 does 4K 8-bit 60 frames per second. The Mark II does 4K 10-bit 60 frames per second. Now, color profiles, and this is the last one, which will be specifically Cinelight D and Vlog. Cinelight D and Vlog is both on here. However, you have to purchase Vlog separately, which is $100. As for Mark II, you get Cinelight D version 2, and Vlog is actually included into this camera. Although I do wish in this video I had the Mark II just to show you some examples of it, but I just wanted to explain the differences. Maybe that will get your mindset better off to think of what camera you want to buy or if it's worth upgrading. Speaking of that, is it worth upgrading if you have the GH5? I'd say no, because it has everything that the GH5 already produces, just a little bit more, but you're better off saving your money for the GH6. So if you found this video useful and helpful, with all means, if you like the video, like the video. And if you want to see more content like this, feel free to subscribe. It's entirely up to y'all. I hope this made your choices and thoughts a little bit easier for which camera you want to get, or if you want to look into the Mark II. But otherwise than that, I'll see you guys in the next one.